Closed captioning for The Casey Malone Show is sponsored by Hunter Stevens Land Title Agency. Integrity, service, and commitment you can trust.
Oh yeah, Casey Malone is serving up local. It's time for the stories of our region, the tastes, the sights, the sounds, and the people in and around the valley. Get ready for some local flavor on the Casey Malone Show.
Today we visit with the Lake Milton ladies as they prepare for August 11th's Arts and Crafts at the Beach. I also make Thai green curry soup. But first, it's an urban safari in Youngstown. I'm here with Youngstown Councilman Michael Ray, and we are about to embark on the urban tour. Is that a good way to call it?
Yeah, we call it the safari, but I mean, it is a tour, and that's what it kind of started. It started out as exploration.
Yes, it's like hidden Youngstown. And these are all properties owned by the city of Youngstown that have become overgrown, are now dormant. And what spurred your interest in going through all these old properties?
We were doing a neighborhood cleanup on the west side with the Rocky Ridge Neighborhood Association, and I had my Jeep out and the doors off, and it was spring day, and three of the people that were there have planning backgrounds. They're urban planners, and they said, there's some spots in the city we just you'd be amazed to see. So I said, let's go. We just jumped in, and I'd never been back on this trail, which is an old rail line, and it was so overgrown. And we had to inch our way through. And then I started learning about some of that history, and it kind of pieced together. I mean, we'll go as far out to the east side and the roads that we closed and part of the 2010 plan to, right sides of the city. We have all these things, and there's just hidden stuff we drive by every day that we don't realize what used to go on there.
Well, we went on this tour last year. Mike took my husband and I, it is fascinating because it really deals with the old industry. And, the rail cars, as you said, it was the old railway line, and the line is still there.
Yeah, there's remnants, the pieces of this rail line, and it's my understanding it was about 12 miles long, and it went from Camel into Youngstown, and the mills together built that. It was a raised rail line, so they could move the molten steel between plants.
And I just think it's so interesting. When we go back, Bill, get ready, because we are going to get some amazing shots. And this is all part of our city, but honestly, you do feel like you are in a jungle. So this still is in perfect shape.
I mean, this structure is very massive. It held, rail cars full of molten steel. The I-beam underneath the center is as wide as this vehicle. So.
Now, Michael, this looks pretty overgrown.
It is, but I will tell you, the first time we came through here, no one had ever driven back here in years.
So this is ground zero for the city of Youngstown. This is where it started.
This is Spring Commons, and you'll have a shot over there. The spring is still there, it's concreted over, and water still pours out continually. And that's where the first settlers, John Young, they came here to this spot because of there was a clearing here, and the spring was here.
And it flows right into the Mahoning River.
Yep.
And, right above it, right across from
the B&O,
the B&O
is across the river.
Is where we have our John Young statue.
Just above here is the John Young statue, the bust of John. And, it's weird because we're so, the bridge is above us, but Mahoning Avenue was much lower then. I mean, it would have been at this level. And it's funny, even when this low spot we are here, you can still see Home Savings up there. The Home Savings building is a beacon. You can probably see it for most of the spots we go to.
So right now we're underneath the Market Street Bridge. And the access way was called
Pike Street.
And this used to, when the Market Street Bridge wasn't in existence, Pike was used.
You would come down that way and go to Oak Hill.
Now, if you could see way far to that would be what, the north end of the bridge. Underneath is where the access is going to be from Cavelli over to the soon-to-be-built amphitheater. Now, you have an excellent idea.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool if we did have expanded our park department and put a zip line so you could just zip from this side down across the river and across the rail lines. I mean, that'd probably take multiple approvals, Army Corps Engineer, Department of Transportation. But I think that would be unique, having urban zip lines right here going right across where the heart of the steel, industry was at one time.
I mean, because you have the height.
We do.
And I mean, I think the views would be absolutely beautiful over the river.
The view's amazing, and it'd be a way that we could engage with the river, because we can't do anything riverfront exactly because of the rail lines. We have active rail lines. There's 3 sets of tracks right below us here on this side of the river, and there's a few on the other side of the river.
So what would the access point then? We would have to get a road.
Well, we have this road here. We have this right of way. This is the rail line. This is that same raised rail line we were on off of Pike Street.
So we would just have to develop it a little bit.
Right.
And get a ticket booth.
Yeah. We are on a closed road, part of Lincoln Park. This was a public use pool at one time. A little swampy now, but
yeah, a little algae issue.
Right, but
so this used to be
a pool,
a public swimming area.
Yeah. And if we look at the atlas when we get back, I could show you the pages where it was, Lincoln Park Pool.
All right, well, the Urban Jungle Jeep Tour, we had to hike this one.
Right.
One of the furthest points out in Lincoln Park, and as you can see, Lincoln Park is one of our oldest city parks, is like Mill Creek. And you can see the deteriorating concrete bridge, but this is so picturesque back here.
This is beautiful. I mean, we talk about Mill Creek Park, but this is right in the city limits. Several, acres of land with these old bridges, but I mean, they're in disrepair, but there's still so many neat spots to see. I encourage folks to come out, drive down into Lincoln Park.
And hike.
I mean, yep.
Because we really do have many resources, and I don't know how we're going to be able to keep up with the upkeep on all of this parkland that the city owns.
Right, and part of that I think is keep making part of this more of a preserve, letting it be natural, but having paths and ways for people to come and enjoy this.
And if you like to hike, just come on over to the east side, enter Lincoln Park, right through Lincoln Park Drive, and you could just walk 4 miles, and you will see the wonders and the splendor right here in the city of Youngstown.
Yep.
The Casey Malone Show will be right back with more local flavor. Summer means Magic Tree. Look at this patio. This is one of my favorite places to be on a summer night.
Casey, we have all the things going on here at the Magic Tree on our beautiful patio. We have the Saturday Summer Music Series, not to mention all the other goodies like our seasonal menu. Absolutely.
Oh,
that's our can of chips, our cedar plank salmon, and this is our Casey and the Sunshine Salad. How you like that? And then our seasonal drinks. That's our mermaid water, and it ain't no water, by the way. And this is our fresh blueberry mule.
Oh, that is beautiful. And I'm telling you, what is your slogan?
Come to the Magic Tree to eat, drink, and celebrate.
And I say repeat. Summertime is here. The living is easy. Get to the Magic Tree.
Cheers.
Cheers. 5 Buck Burger Mondays at Sadie's Place, inside the Best Western, Route 46, Austintown.
Mayflower Woolham is your full-service, independent insurance agency. We work with several insurance companies to offer you choices for your insurance needs. We'll find the right product at the right price. Personal, business, farm, life, trust Mayflower Woolham. You focus on what's important, we'll take care of the details. Mayflower Woolham, close by with 3 locations to serve you.
Here at the Upstairs, we cater to everyone. When you come through the door, I treat you as though you're my friend. So there's all kinds of options here at the Upstairs. There's something on that menu for everyone. Great food, friendly service, very clean restaurant. There's a lot of restaurants, a lot of good restaurants in our community. So I always feel honored when someone comes here. I want everybody coming through that door to leave here with a good experience.
Rulli Brothers is way ahead of the competition. Check out Rulli Spice World, where you can buy bulk herbs and spices, plus candies, nuts, and fillings for pennies on the dollar. Shop Rulli Brothers, home of the famous Evening Express.
I am blessed with a wonderful husband. He's stuck with me through thick and thin, and he's a fantastic father. So when he needed long-term care, not just any place would do, we did our research. Everyone said, trust the name you know, Briarfield. With all those locations, there's always one close. That made it easy for me and the kids to visit more often, Briarfield.
Trust the name you know, Briarfield. Proudly serving the Valley for over 20 years.
I'm a big fan of Asian flavors. I love Thai food, and actually, it's very easy to make. And I'm gonna make for you today my Thai green curry soup. It is so easy and so delicious, and really, the ingredients aren't that hard to find. You know, the fish sauce, coconut milk. You could use the red curry paste, but I'm using the green curry because I think it has a little more heat. But if you don't like things real hot, you could also use the red curry. Or if you don't like any heat at all, you could use the yellow curry paste. But this is a delicious recipe with fresh ingredients. And the thing that takes the most time is actually chopping up all the fresh ingredients. But let's get started. This will be ready in under 30 minutes. You are gonna love my Thai green curry soup. For this recipe, you'll need 2 tablespoons of canola oil, 4 cloves of garlic finely chopped, 1 tablespoon of grated fresh ginger, 3 tablespoons of Thai green curry paste, 4 cups of chicken stock, 1 13-ounce can of coconut milk, 2 tablespoons of fish sauce, 1 teaspoon of brown sugar, 8 ounces of chopped spinach leaves, 8 ounces of sliced mushroom, button, portobello, or shiitake, and 6 ounces of dried rice vermicelli noodles. For the garnish, you'll need 1 lime cut into wedges, 1 cup of fresh cilantro finely chopped, red or green chilies sliced thin, 3 green onions finely chopped, and sriracha to taste. In the soup pot, I've already warmed the canola oil over medium heat. So now I'm going to add the chopped garlic. And it's better to chop it than to mince it, because you really want to cut all those flavors in. And I think mincing it, you lose a little bit of that. And then the fresh ginger. Ugh, love this stuff. Remember, you can always add more. And then I'm going to cook the Thai curry paste. All right? So we're just gonna mix this for about 3 or 4 minutes until it gets really fragrant. Keep it over medium heat because you really don't want to scorch the garlic or the ginger. And it's been a couple minutes and look at that. Ooh, beautiful. It's nice and combined. And now we're going to add the chicken stock and turn the heat up to medium high. And we are going to cook this for about 5 minutes and bring it to a good simmer. Now, if you want to make this the vegetarian way, you can just use a vegetable stock rather than chicken. All right, now the stock has come to a nice soft boil. So we're going to add our fish sauce. This is loaded with flavor and a little bit of sweetness. You can always add more of this, but I'm just doing a teaspoon of the brown sugar and the coconut milk. I love coconut milk. I think it adds a richness and a wonderful flavor. So we are gonna let these blend together about 4 or 5 minutes. And now's a good time to taste it and see if you need to adjust the seasonings at all. I think it could use just a little bit of salt. So I am going to grab my salt and just add, about a teaspoon. But I think that's about all it's going to need. Oh. Again, this has come to a nice soft boil, and I'll turn it back down to medium. We're going to add the chopped spinach. You want to do this last because you don't want it to get too soggy. And you don't want to overcook the mushrooms either. So we'll add the mushrooms. And this will only be a few more minutes. We'll let these soften up and pick up all these wonderful flavors. And I don't recommend you adding the rice noodles directly to the soup because they seem to sop up a lot of the broth. So what I did was I've got some water, brought it to a boil, and now it's just hot. And you don't need to boil the rice noodles. You just set them in the hot water for about 5 minutes, and that'll soften them up. And I would keep these separate from the soup because they just absorb too much of the liquid. All right, Jelaine is joining me, and you know, I do like the heat. Now, I don't know if you want to add this, but I like to add a couple drops of the sriracha. And you should squeeze a little lime on there for you. There you go. Drop that right in. What other
I will
garnish
take some of
would you
this,
like?
Since I helped chop today.
Yes, she really did. She earned her meal. Little cilantro.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
And these are hot.
Those are hot, so you probably won't want
have any of those.
I'll
but I
take
will have
some
the
of
cilantro.
those. Oh, yes. Look at all the goodies.
This is like making a soup burger.
I know. All right. So I can't wait for you. This is a new recipe for you. You've tried this, Chef. What do you think? It's loaded with all kind of good stuff. The crunch of the fresh. There is like a warm heat. Do you like it? You do. You're speechless.
It's very, very good.
Another successful dish.
Great cake.
Cheers. Little Pinot Gris from La Crema.
Nastrovia.
Nastrovia. Just go to my website, caseymalonесhow.com. Under recipes, look for my Thai green curry soup. You are going to love it. The Casey Malone Show will be right back with more local flavor.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Bernard. I've been giving the people of our valley free advice for 30 years, and my message has never changed. If you're involved in an automobile accident, don't try to handle it yourself. Call a lawyer. A lawyer will be your representative, dealing with doctors, medical insurance, and all the red tape that you may encounter. Hiring a lawyer doesn't mean you'll end up in court. And remember, there are no upfront fees on personal injury cases.
That's good advice. Need a lawyer? Learn more at ElizabethBernardLaw.com.
To own a business where your name's on the window can be pretty cool. That's my family. My name is Danny Catullo, and I'm the owner of Catullo Prime Meats. My grandfather started the business in 1962. I was able to take our old style butcher shop and bring it out to the new age using e-commerce to get our products to more customers. When we started shipping, there was not a ton of information out there. That's where we really worked with FedEx so they could be able to help us with our perishable shipping. We were taking on new purchases that we never had to make before. Boxes, coolers, ice packs, anything that was involved around shipping. So we can no longer do this with the cash that we had on hand. So because of the Plum Card from American Express and all of its benefits, it was a natural fit to help grow our business. And when someone calls and lets you know that you made their dinner, that's satisfaction that you can't get anywhere else.
Open the Jewel Box, the Courthouse Inn, organic vegetarian comfort food, handcrafted cocktails, fine wine and beer, fresh baked cakes and pies. Recharge your senses at the Courthouse Spa. Dazzling dining, artfully prepared, locally sourced ingredients, spa services. The Courthouse Inn feels like a world away, just down the road in historic Lisbon, Ohio.
It's time to get real about getting engaged. Real experts you can count on.
Real pricing and financing for your budget. And really one-of-a-kind engagement rings.
that are unique as she is. Get real, get Kamara.
Get real, get Kamara.
In the Coal Creek Plaza in Canfield.
4 for $5 till 6. Happy hour at Sadie's Place inside the Best Western, Route 46, Austin Town.
At Rulli Brothers, the family is in the store. Meats, deli, produce, even the checkout. We work hard to ensure that you get the best products at a personal shopping experience. At Rulli Brothers Markets, our customers are our top priority. Our family is in the store.
I'm here with Sue Lemon, who I met at the Butler Christmas show.
Correct.
And she makes beautiful scarf pins and jewelry. And I waited to interview you, Sue, because I knew she lived at Lake Milton. And I waited until the weather turned around.
Thrilled to have you here. Thrilled.
And I think what you make is really clever.
Thank you.
And this was really made because of need. You wear a lot of scarves.
I wear a lot of scarves. I probably have about 50 scarves.
So this, you know, was built out of necessity.
Right, yeah. I like bling. I like jewelry.
And then you moved into like a t-shirt tie.
Right.
That's what this newer gadget is.
Yeah.
And how is that working out?
Well, this is working out well, and what you do is you just bend these out. This is aluminum, so you have no problem bending them out. You go in here, back out, just like the old-fashioned hair ties. Then you push these shut, and it sort of like locks in place.
Yes.
It doesn't slip.
Your artwork has now brought you to being the organizer of the first ever Lake Milton's Arts and Crafts Festival.
Right, right.
And I think that's a great way to get people out to Lake Milton that don't come out here regularly.
You know what? We live in a wonderful place that some people don't even know about it, and they're only 20 miles away. So, you know, it's just a great place to live. I've lived here since I've been 5 years old, 1950, and I can't think of any other place to live. I said I would
right
sell
on
my
the water.
Right.
And how many vendors do you have lined up so far?
We have about 55 so far.
That's huge.
Some of them are direct sales, which means it's like Avon or Tupperware or 31 bags. But the bulk of it is the art and crafters.
Well, another one of the Lake Milton ladies who is organizing the Art and Craft Show is Claire Morey. And guess what she has? The largest collection.
Private collection.
Private collection of waterfront designs. I mean, your collection is outstanding. And this is only a trifle of it.
Yes.
I mean, you have got a lot of Sue's work. And you're a scarf designer.
Well, basically what we do is we're going to set up a trough, and then we emulsify the water, and then you decorate the top of it with paints, and then you lay your scarf in on top of the water, and then you pull it out, and the design is imprinted on the scarf, and you let it dry, and then you've created a masterpiece on your own.
So I hear you're going to be the captain of the ship.
I am. I'm captain today. Yes.
All right. Aye, aye. We're going to hit the lake. Now, I might not agree with Mandy on everything, but you know what? We're here to disagree. So Claire is at the helm. Mandy is also joining us, and then we're on the Ohio State boat. This is Sue Lemon's boat. And of course, we cannot miss an opportunity to take a boat ride if I'm all the way out here at Lake Milton.
What's the sense of coming, right, if you can't get on the water?
And it wound up being a beautiful day. Now, are you going to show us the highlights of, you know, all the wonderful things along the shore?
Well, there's some beautiful, beautiful houses on this side of the lake. Once the state took over and water and gas came to this side, Youngstown sold the property to the property leasers. They were leasing the property from Youngstown, so naturally they didn't want to build big homes and then in 99 years and not go to their family or whatever.
Exactly.
So then when the state took over, Youngstown hurried up and sold the people their property, so then that's when it went crazy over here. So
well, I must tell you, the ladies of Lake Milton, you girls are living large. This has really been nice. You're artistic, giving back to the community. You're a former trustee, and now we got a big art show coming up. So you love the lake living.
I do. Been here since 1950. I was 5 years old, so my blood's here.
I'll tell you, it's beautiful out here, and you're a transplant, right, Mandy?
Yes, yes. We've lived here about 20 years. We moved here from Mercer, PA, and we lived on a lake called a man-made lake, Lake Latonka. So, and before that, up in Erie. So we've always had a boat, but we're more into kayaking now than actual motor boating. Yeah.
And you, Miss Claire, how long have you been out here?
We've been here 13 years, but I'm from Canada.
Are you a Canuck?
I'm American and a Canadian.
Now, what brought you here?
GM. My husband built car plants. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and you like living on the lake? Do you play hockey?
No, I've watched a lot of hockey. Yes, but no, I didn't. But everybody else played hockey. But they're all Canadian players on the Penguins team.
Heck yeah, I went up to PEI, and that's where Crosby's from. That's right, I know exactly where he's from. So, wow, it's also a little bit like the United Nations out here. People from Pennsylvania, Canada, and then the native. Thank you so much. I have loved my day with you girls. The Casey Malone Show is sponsored in part by Denise and John York and the DeBartolo Corporation.